What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are feeling not anything like the spy cues. The opposite day. Let's go up. Maybe the golfer didn't wasn't it a hedgehog? Somebody sees a shadow? I don't know. But we got I'm in and out. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert. Good morning to Andrew, Andy, Bill, Casey. Good morning to DK. Emily's in the house. Good morning to Frank, Jenny. Good morning to Jeff, Kevin, Lauren, Lydia, Marius, Rob, Sohail, Tim. The squadron's piling in. Good morning to all you guys. We have a new YouTube trophy holder. We got Richard Jet, first one in. He's got the title now. He's got a first one in. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mustafa. Good morning to LC. Alfred in the house. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube. It's okay. I still love you. Even if you're not going to say anything all day, just make sure you hit that like and subscribe buttons. And yeah, Emily says, great Monday. New day, new month. Let's go. This month is starting off in the red. So we'll see where it ends. Let's take a look. Since we do have a new month, let's check out the monthly candle on the SPY, see if we are actually in trouble or not. And so far, although we have selling that pretty much came in, the tariff talk started Friday. Actually, it started Friday morning ish. So there was an article that was put out there. Somebody put an article out saying that the tariff talk, Trump is not actually going to implement tariffs until March. The market started just rallying. We loved it. And then later, the press secretary came out and said, no, that article is completely nonsense. And they're going to start this weekend. So they started as of Saturday. And since she said that, the market has been nonstop selling. I thought we could get a little bit of a bounce, to be honest. I thought that was a lot of selling into. I was like, all right, well, now we're selling. We like the tariffs are here. Good opportunity for us to bounce. And no, kept on pounding it. Kept on pounding it. Jeff says, do you think China threatening to target Tesla because of tariffs have any teeth? I think everything has some teeth. Every single thing that we have has some teeth, but then I think it's also going to be filled with a bunch of nonsense. So until something happens, and unfortunately, this market is not going to wait. So that's the bigger issue. The market is not going to wait until an actual decision's made. They're going to be playing all rumors. So I would trade almost as rumors are true. If something comes out bad on Tesla, bad on Nvidia, bad on TSM, bad on something Canadian, Mexican, whatever it is, try to find the stocks that correlate. You could probably be pretty quick into the move on it and then take your gains. And I think this is a market where you just take your gains. You try not to have too much on the table because everything is so volatile right now. Where even if nothing has teeth to it and it's just all a bunch of rumors and talk and stuff like that, the stocks will get beat up pretty quickly before they rebound. So, but right now it's still inside of the month for January's month. We opened somewhere around, let's see where we opened on this candle, 589.39. So as long as we could hang into that, we're still above where we opened in January, so we're still up for the year. And then next little spot to the lower side, which is still inside this candle, but I would be looking for the close of December. That got us to 586.08. So we start breaking that down, and then I think we're on a surefire mission into 573.69. So we'll see the weekly candle again. Somehow we still stayed positive. We're gapping under all of last week. We're coming into a little bit of support at open on a weekly basis, and we're just kind of hanging out in the zone. And as deep as this sell-off seems today, from just the pain from Friday into today, we're just kind of in this range. Right? And I wouldn't be surprised if we're in this range for a decent amount of time, just back and forth. All of this, as much as people want to talk about tariffs and yada yada yada, we're just letting some of these moving averages catch up for now. So we don't really have anything really seriously happening in the market, even though there's a lot happening in a weird way. Not much bond response. We'll pull up TLT after the spot after the Qs. We'll check that out. I thought that was gapping up a little bit. Thought there was a little bit of flight to safety. You have SPY is opening into a support, so we'll see where we want to hang out on this one. Anything I think above, let's see if we get a little more accurate numbers. Looks like we're right at it, maybe slightly below, but I got 592.42. Yeah, about a penny below some key support, so somewhere in this range, still kind of hanging out. Not really that bad. And then we have 591.91 is the next one that's not as important. I think the next bigger one would take us into like 588.77, see if you get some kind of bounce. Otherwise, we're putting now a lot of that resistance above us, which should be support on the way down. And then we probably still have this gap fill, 584.42. And then we're kind of back in this range. We have the 100 to give us some support. So we got some reasons for a bounce. I don't know. I I think for us to really start getting some kind of significant bounce, it's got to come from Trump. It's got to come from the press secretary. So I think watching any of those press secretary briefings are going to be huge. As soon as any questions get asked about tariffs, we also have a lot of companies reporting earnings today. So on some of those companies that you might have liked before, that you're like, man, this is probably a good opportunity for, like, I kind of like them into earnings. You might like them a little bit better today. So I'm not running away from the market. Let's put it that way. We have a retest gap on the Qs. Again, is today to buy the dip? I'm not sure. We're down a lot. I got support somewhere around 513.62. We are below that as well, so I think probably a little bit more pressure. We'll see if you get a quick bounce. See if we kind of reject that 513.62 zone. And then if we do, we do have a lot of room to even technically fill this gap. I guess we kind of closed it up to by what, a penny maybe. But we didn't really come down to the actual VPOX, which is 504.67. So maybe a little bit more room to the downside, but it is a retest gap. Let's see how we interact with that 513.62. Check out TLT. See if there's a little flight to safety. Yeah, we have a little bit of gap up. So a tad flight to safety. Again, Friday didn't look good for bonds. Right back into it, into a little bit of resistance. So I don't really have much edge unless you start breaking out of 88. We'll call it 88.50, but I got 88.48. So we start getting above 88.50. That could take us into probably that 50 EMA, but VPOCs aren't really until real retest level 89.95. So some room to go there. If you could go a little bit more right now, it's kind of just into that resistance. So we'll see. Mm, Real Virtual Domain says Happy New Month, everyone. TC and Spy, you know it. I'm guessing that's BTC. Yeah, crypto wasn't pleasant over the weekend. BTC, USD. So that one kind of some big droppage, big pullbacks. Again, there was some points that looked a little bit scarier where we're getting underneath that 100. We have had a nice bounce back. I was able to pick up some what was it? What was it? X or I forget what I got. Somebody remind me. Was it XLR? No. What did I get? Was it XLR? I don't know why I can't remember. Oh yeah, XRP. That's the one. I don't know why I just drew a blank. Probably because I was buying it at like midnight last night, maybe like 12:30, something like that. So I picked up a little X. I can't even type the words in. This Monday, this market got me shook today. USD. Let's see. There we go. So I picked up a little bit. I think I got it around. I don't know. The Coinbase spread was crazy. I picked it up. I think XRP was sitting around like 220 yesterday when I got it. I missed this one by like 15, 20 minutes. This is the price I wanted, 178, and it started bouncing. So I was like, all right, it's still a good opportunity, I think, if I want to hold it, just in case. Lots of volume. All we really have to do is break out this candle. We'll see what happens. I'm okay if it just goes to zero. It doesn't matter. But yeah, still holding. But yeah, the spread, it was like at 220, and they told me my average price is like 231. So I don't know what happened there. We'll see. Let's see. Let's go through some of the tickers we got. Q, Q Tom Petty. It might be a Tom Petty type day. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. This market is just so choppy back and forth that is a little tough. Nvidia, they might be a little Tom Petty. At least they might start the warm up song for it. Again, you still have a little bit of support where we're sitting right now. We got one spot a little bit lower. I think key spot where Bulls really have to try to save this thing, 114.79. If they cannot, the next stop down on this one takes me to 109.43, and then we're right back into some of these levels. I do want to. I have a put sale, I think, for the 21st on this one, for 104. I was so close to getting by a couple pennies. They were about to close me out. They just couldn't get there. So still in it. We'll see what happens. But I don't really mind getting filled at 104. If we could break this, we come down a little bit lower again. I like to wait for like 3 down days. This is a rough looking gap. Probably with the retest, I think we get bid up. I don't think this one. We might get a push to 120. But I think really good resistance would take us into like 118.48, and then maybe if we do want to dip on this one, that's probably the spot. But that's a pretty rough open for Nvidia. I do like it rather short as opposed to the long side. So if we go bullish, we'll be patient. We'll just wait, and then we'll see if we can play that a little bit after the bounce. We got Coinbase. Yep, Coinbase, MSTR probably gonna have a rough day for them again, unless we're at just some killer crazy support. We aren't on Coinbase. We have somewhere around 270.44. That should be a good support. However, we've been down there before. I think that's a spot to break. We've also got the next decent support, 266.41. We've been there before. That could break. And then I'm looking for targets, 260.37 possibly today. And then maybe like 255.14. So I think we got a little bit lower. Again, still retest gap. Um, I think really good resistance on this one. If you get a bounce to like 275.67, next resistance would take us to 278.09. And I think with this gap down, I think we don't get to 278.09. I think we max out at somewhere around 275.27. Let's get that higher on the list as well. Let's also look at MSTR. They own all the Bitcoins in the world, apparently. Michael Saylor just wants to keep buying. It doesn't matter if it's $1 million a coin, he says. Let's see. He's got to be loving a pullback then today. MSTR looks like it's got plenty of room on it. Not, yeah, decent amount. You got down to like 297.39. I think they're gonna want to try to hold that. Otherwise, you got room to like 292.35. Again, probably not gonna buy this one or short it at open. So far, I think best approach is do nothing at open, let some of the volatility shake out. But we got resistance 315.02, and then a really, really good one, 319.22. If you come into a short there somewhere, I think that would be an awesome price to get. All right, let's see. Tesla, Apple, AMD. Altcoins bleeding now. Yep. hmm Tesla is chilling. So down. Again, it is a gap and go from Friday. Friday we maintained green, which is good. We're still in the candle from Thursday, so technically going bullish here. You not saying that's a good approach, but you have some good risk reward. I think you start breaking down 384, about 384. Just rather be out, but you got a little bit more safety coming in. Again, we've been here before. We've retested before, so if we get down to this 378.60, there's probably some more room to go to the downside. Otherwise, depends on where this one wants to open. That's not a great location so far. I'd like to see us get back above 390.46 for any chance of a bull case. We know 395 has been absolutely major key spot for both directions, and bulls have been. Even though the bulls slipped past it a few times, we keep getting right back above it. So we'll see if this has any legs in it for that. Right now, the open looks kind of weak, and I kind of like it better to the short side. We'll see if the shorts want to start taking a little control of this market. AAPL. And then, well, hold on, let's go to targets on this one. If this one could break, you got your 50 EMA right here. So, yep, target for today could be this 378.85. And then if you get past that, you got one 371.41. And then I think ultimately you might have some room back into the 356s with really, really good resistance some or support somewhere around 341. So you do have a long way to go on Tesla if you could break through some of those key spots. We're just not quite there yet. Apple also retest gap, bearish engulfing candle. You would have liked to see probably 231.36 be some kind of support on the way down. The fact that this gap is below it, not great. So I'm wondering if that is going to be our resistance spot. We get bid up into 231.36 and then maybe look for the short side of things. Again, earnings, people were loving it. It gapped up completely. We tried to make a play where it should have held and just didn't want to do it. So we got out of it, thankfully. Otherwise, last little support on this one, 229.90, 229.19. If that starts to break down, I think you got a pretty good runway back into this 222.89. So again, I still kind of like Apple short. It should have held up a little bit better on Friday. It did not. And maybe with any type of bounce at open, might be a good opportunity to try to come into the short side. So far, I think primarily still leaning short, even though we have a good gap down, but maybe want some of these things to retest a little bit. Apple, AMD. AMD. Well, we have a trade set up here. It was probably from a day trade, but that would have probably triggered and we'd be good for carrying it through for today. Still looks weak. I think we got earnings coming out tomorrow after the bell, so just be careful on this one. If you're holding something overnight on it, I have shares of AMD long. I am fully comfortable holding it through earnings, and I don't think I'm going to make a play into earnings on this one because I already have shares. I've gotten out of some put sales, things like that. I kind of expect it to come down a little bit further. I think for today you got 109.99 in sight and probably like 107.16 potentially even before earnings come in. Maybe we could hold that level. Again, it looks rough. Retest gap. You do have a little bit of risk to reward on this one. So if you got your stops below this candle from January 27th, I could see a potential reason why somebody might want to trade this thing bullish. I think I'd be concerned about targets on this one. You really probably want to get back above this 415.59. So if you're going long, I'd be out by then. If that trade makes any sense in terms of risk reward. Otherwise, we'll see if we can hang in this candle. It's not quite tweezer bottoms. It's close, but it's not really there. So you should have some support here. If that one breaks, I think you come lower. Again, same thing. I don't think I would touch this one bullish, and I don't think I would touch it bearish as soon as that bell rings. I think I would wait, see if we get some kind of a bounce, or I think the better play, the better strategy, if you're going too short and this thing doesn't want to retest, is simply let this thing drop, come back, and then look to play it here. But we'll see. We'll see how this one wants to play out. And then again, you do have earnings. It is a stock beat up completely. I don't think the earnings were as bad as the market wants me to believe. So we will see. All right. Let me know if you guys have any other tickers. I think we ran through the list today. Sometimes the list is crazy. Sometimes not as much. Today's not as much day. eBay. We attempted to trade on this one. But I think patience is gonna be my best my best friend today. At least probably for the first 15 minutes of the day. Let some of this thing shake out. Unless we get a really quick bullish rally and then we start hitting some resistance where we can play things short. We got MU looking a little rough again, still inside of this candle from January 29th. I think if you're going to go short on this one, 88, 84, I wouldn't touch this thing long until you start getting some candles that close above that. And actually, I'd probably not even take that. I'd want some candles to close above 89.18 for me to go long on this one. But again, not looking to go short. Next little spot down is 87.65. We almost got there before, so I think that would still be a viable support. I don't know if that is as strong with the wick of this candle down here If sentiment's all negative, then I think the next target is about 86.76 on this one. So we'll see how that one plays out. We got CME. CME, we got that trading view just going all sorts of slow right now. We got CME chilling, nothing. At least we're not getting the selling reaction. So it looks a little bit different. It looks like it has a little strength in it, even though it hasn't really done much. You're kind of just hanging out at a spot slightly above support, which is interesting. 295, 96. So if we could hang this 236 at open, things in the bullish direction could be a little tough, but at least it's a little bit stronger. And if the market does want to bounce, 237.09 would be probably my target for today. Unless this market just completely reverses and flips and just has an astonishing move. I don't know. Etsy was a little bit stronger today. I think that's in reaction to Timu and Baba news. So I think there was potential, was it restrictions on some of the Baba and Timu? At least I think talks of it. And I think Etsy is just kind of the sympathy to that inverse sympathy where Etsy might benefit. But really good gap on this one. Again, doing something a little bit different than the market. This one might be one that we should probably focus on at open if we're going to take something. It is a gap and go from Friday. The rest of the market's down. This has some strength. Maybe if the market continues down, the strength is still here, or if the market bounces, maybe that also translates into Etsy as well. So at least it's a little bit stronger. You're opening into a resistance. You have your next resistance not too far away, 57.40. And I got my 200 EMA all the way at 58.33. So I'd have to have some kind of thought that we could get through this 57.30 zone and then probably look at the target as 58.28, 58.30, somewhere in that zone for targets for today. Again, maybe you see if there's a little profit taking. You are all the last 3 days have been inside this kind of breakout candle, so anybody positive in there, maybe get your pullback, see if 56.16 wants to hold, and maybe that's your spot to go long. Otherwise, I'd probably wait for 55.54, but I don't think I really wanted to get down there. I think looking for some kind of a pullback into this 56.16 would be phenomenal price. You might get held up a little bit before that, 56.73. So we will see. We got Palantir PLTR. That one's still holding up. A little bit of a, again, reversal candle that we put in on Friday. Still closing at 82.49, so still some strength on this one. You did have an all-time high that we put in by pennies on Friday before the fade started to happen, so definitely some strength on this one, and I think the support is going to be trouble trying to short this. So just with the amazing strength that everybody wants to just have Palantir all the time, look for like probably the last line in the sand, 78, 71 to the downside, but it is a gap and go. You have a little bit of room further down. That being said, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for this one to. Oh, there it is. Yep, that's probably what it's going to be. Monday, which is today after the bell, we got some Palantir earnings. So that might finally shift gears on this one, or will just bring us to all-time highs on Palantir. So we'll see how that one wants to play out. But earnings today, and that's going to probably add a little bit of chop. Again, I don't think it's a rush for the exit on this one before earnings. I don't think I could go long before earnings. It is at all-time highs, just up massively since last quarter and for the last year. So we'll see if there's any notable pullback, but that is a little bit of a bull trap that we put in on Palantir. Even all the volume on this one, 84.61 to the high side, and we'll see if we get a little bit of a pullback. We got Visa. Visa. Probably needs a pullback. 304 all the way up to, I don't even know where we got to. 304 all the way up to 351 since January 13th, so about 2 weeks nonstop bullish run. Retest gap from Friday. Good support on this one to like 336.40. Unless I think we are really getting some crazy pullback, I think your target that would also close up this mini gap, but lots of strength. Last 2 weeks on Visa. I think to the downside, you got 336.17. You probably have some bulls there. Otherwise, you got your targets in a long direction at 343.63. I'd have to just wait to see if we get a bounce up higher and then try to play the reverse, or if you're going to try this thing along 336.17 or as close as possible to that one. Baba getting a little bit beat up today as well. It's got some decent room to the downside. Uh, First stop, I think for a reversal would take us to about 93.69. So I think that's my targets to the short side if you're going to try it. They also have earnings. I wouldn't be surprised if they do some buybacks. You got earnings today. Did that come out already? Let's see. I don't have anything indicating that it was after the bell. I don't really see any crazy price action either. But they're telling me we have earnings today. I don't know when, but we'll have to see. Usually, I think they're after the bell, but maybe not. Maybe they'll act a little weird. So watch that one. I just have no clue when those earnings, but they're telling me today, unless TradingView is lying to me, which that's happened before. We got, is that a ticker? BRPHF? Galaxy Digital? Doesn't that just spell barf? I don't know if that was well thought out on their ticker name. You got Galaxy Digital Holdings. Yeah, guys, I bought a new stock. Yeah, what's it called? It's called barf. That sounds like a meme coin. You could own this and fart coin at the same time. That's crazy. But you got Galaxy, yeah, just chilling, nothing crazy. I don't know if there's any pre-market move. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Nice little uptrend, still kind of maintaining that. Again, I'm not really familiar with the stock. You got your 50 at 1890, and yeah, we'll see. But not a lot of edge in terms of a day trade. Still looks decent. Pretty disaster gap down. I think if you want to continue this bull trend, you're really looking for a break of $22.05. Otherwise, significant gap just into a little bit of support. I think if you start breaking down this little green candle from January 28th, you might get a little more significant of a pullback. EB says, I never saw it that way. Leave it to DJ. He'll figure it out. Yeah, you throw any letters, he's got it. But that is the opening bell. So be careful out there. Pretty crazy day in the market. If as long as you guys hit that like and subscribe button, no, I think we'll all make it. We'll all make it. Otherwise,